The first is normally Quad is seen as a non-serious talk shop. Second, big charge, I may not agree with that, is an anti-China grouping. So your thoughts on that will be very significant.
Thank you. There are a lot of substance and very specific deliverables to be expected out of Quad. And I'd like to reiterate that this framework is a very pragmatic vehicle to produce tangible benefits, not only for ourselves, but also to the region. Let's look at the example of the humanitarian assistance to the neighboring countries, including Myanmar. We have grave concerns about their political situations, their domestic situations, but nonetheless, 4 countries provided in a very timely manner the humanitarian assistance to the country in order to safeguard the safety and stability of this country. We cannot waste any time, by neglecting the deteriorating situations in Myanmar. So this is a clear showcase of the commitment of the Quad for the benefits of the others. And I didn't mention that particular country in my presentation because this framework is not intended to do something with any specific country. So
basically you said it's not intended as not any specific country kind of thing.
Thank you very much for your inclusive presentation, Excellency. I take this opportunity to extend my gratitude and respect to late Shinzo Abe-san. We popularly call him as Quad Father, since we are discussing Quad today. So in your presentation, sir, Mr. Abe sir, given the Quad partners leading R&D in AI that you have mentioned in detail, quantum computing and advanced batteries, AI, quantum computing and advanced batteries, yet it faced divergent IP regime and export control policies. Is there a plan to set up a dedicated Quad technology governance framework that will harmonize standards, streamline cross-border data flow, and fast-track secure technological transfers, perhaps starting with a pilot sector in smart manufacturing or energy storage? Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. I try to sharpen my responses as much as possible to your sharp question. As for R&D in quantum and computing and AI technologies, I must refrain from any speculation in terms of the cooperation at the government level. But as many of you are aware, there are very lively discussions and engagement on the industrial level. And Japan is also engaging at the business level with the Indian counterparts, Australian and United States, to harmonize their standards and sharing informations, best practices, and lessons learned in terms of the data flow and the data localization and the science and innovation in those cutting edge technologies. So we would appreciate even more lively engagement among the four trusted partners. Again, trust is a keyword on these areas. So we would expect more to come. And this particular context, I am very glad to share with you that the Japanese embassy, my embassy last Wednesday, hosted a conference for the exchange of information and one-on-one meeting in the area of battery. Yes. More than 17 companies, Japanese, Indians, and a few Australian companies joined the conference, and they exchanged views about the potential of the Indian market and how to reduce our dependence of the supply chain in the field of battery. Obviously, we are excessively dependent on one market in this region, which has put our industries in a very vulnerable position. So the challenge is very clear. So more than 7 countries participated and there was a session of 101 business matching. I don't know how many companies agreed on their cooperation at this one-shot occasion, but I'm sure they are continuing to discuss the potential partnership among them. So in our part, the government has a role to play, and embassy is going to do continue such efforts, because I emphasized business-to-business cooperation, but at the same time, the market is not perfect. There's much or growing room for the governments of the public sector to intervene and to support industry's efforts. So we cannot count on the invisible hands of the market in those particular fields. So I do like to emphasize the self-help efforts by the private sectors, but also I like to highlight the potential role not the potential, but clear role that government can play. Thank you.
Professor Jha.
Thank you, Mr. Noriaki, for excellent presentation. I'm Dr. Gautam Jha from JNU. I have just 2 small questions. First thing is that after the Quad meeting, immediately the media was hyped, because in the Quad meeting, as you said that you condemned the Pahalgam terror attack in Jammu Kashmir, but the main perpetrator's name was never, surfaced, and as you know, that is Pakistan. So as we all know, any international organizations work in a close partnership, and if any of the partner is marginalized or ignored, particularly such a big event happened, as Pahalgam terror attack, how Japan views it? First. The second is, as you know, that in your presentation you have mentioned that the Quad will work in close cooperation with ASEAN. As we all know, the ASEAN is becoming more or less kind of second Chinese market, and each and every most of the countries of ASEAN is becoming dumping ground of Chinese products, and that's why this tariff issues are coming. Particularly, you see Cambodia and Laos, they are inviting a 30% kind of tariff, and Vietnam as well. So, how do you see this? Thank you.
Well, thank you for your very timely question. In order to develop the international partnership against terrorism, particularly cross-border terrorism, Japan is second to no country to support those concerted efforts for a more effective measures that should be taken by all the relevant parties. And in this particular context, Japan was one of the few countries that first consulted with the Indian government at a higher level, National Security Advisor and foreign ministers. And also, India also sent their all-party delegation to Japan as their first leg in this Asia-Pacific region. They had a very substantive session at the higher leadership in Japan. That delegation provided us with the very timely opportunity to deepen the understanding about the nature of this heinous crime of terrorism and India's position. And Japan conveyed to all the members our unwavering understanding, and they agreed on the necessity to further working in the international fora such as UN Security Council. As for ASEAN, Japan has been in close cooperation and coordination with those countries in the context of the US negotiations. Japan is also on the receiving end, so we really appreciate the mutual engagement with those countries. ASEAN, only Vietnam successfully concluded the agreement. Of course, the situations and economic configurations they face are different, so we cannot overly generalize the situations that all of us are facing. But it is nonetheless very useful to engage with them and exchange informations. Thank you.
The young lady there, introduce yourself.
Hello, sir. I'm Kusuma. I'm from Chintan Research Foundation. I have a specific question regarding the supply chain. You have just mentioned about the all countries' reliance on China regarding batteries and supply of electronics related stuff. So I've recently read about China Plus One strategy. So we have seen our latest momentum after Trump has come into power, that there is a lot of push for the companies and countries to diversify away from China in be it any sector. So actually, when I read all the research papers, I've seen that Japan has started diversifying away from China in the early 2000s itself. So what lessons can you tell the other countries or companies in the Western or even in India so that we can easily diversify and maybe put eggs in different baskets? Thank you.
So maybe I can take one more.
One more?
Question,
Okay.
question.
Yes, one more question.
Excellency, I'm Divya. I'm a journalist covering foreign affairs. So my question is, it's been a week since the Quad foreign ministers meeting happened. And in that week, we have seen a lot of back and forth in terms of tariff and everything between the Quad partners. So how does the cooperation and the dynamic work as a group when the four leaders sit together, when there's so much disagreement on tariff and so much back and forth happening? Thank you.
One more. Yeah, please. Yeah, I will just come to you. Identify yourself.
Hello, I'm Devdeep Chaudhary from the Sankei Shimbun. I want to ask that Prime Minister Ishiba has had laid out a vision, of course, before becoming the Prime Minister, as Quad becoming like an Asian NATO. I want to know that what is the Japanese perspective? Obviously, we see it very differently, but do you see in future, because of the evolving security situation, Quad becoming or Quad should become more like an Asian NATO? Thank you.
Okay. One more. Yeah. Behind. Yes.
Thank you so much. My name is Takashi Ishihara from the Asahi Shimbun Japanese newspaper. Thank you, Abe-san. I just want to ask, you said in your presentation, Quad is an evolving framework. So is there any possibility to increase the new member from the point of view from Japan? I think the South China Sea and then North Korea issue is one of the main issues, like you said in your presentation. So, like South Korea or Philippines, some reports say that there are two countries are possible countries to increase the new member of the Quad. So, is there any possibility? I would like to ask your personal opinion. Thank you.
So, let's give it here. Introduce yourself.
Tejas Dodia. Considering the India's dual strengths, its global competitive scalable medical ecosystem and its emerging leadership in the cost-effective aerospace innovation, for the sixth generation fighter platform could integrating this into the Quad framework, especially through the deeper India-Japan collaboration, create a Doppler impact within the alliances.
Okay.
Right now we can come to these questions. Then we'll see if we have more time. All right.
Well, thank you very much for asking so many interesting questions, which are all thought-provocative. Thank you, thought-provoking. Thank you very much. For the supply chain, lessons learned from Japan's own experience. Very good question. Japanese industries have been responding to the supply chain disruption issue by taking three approaches, I should say. The first approach, as you mentioned, diversifying suppliers. And second, research and development. That can not only match, but also surpass the level of the other countries, in this case, China. And third, make ourselves to be indispensable to other trading partners. And as far as the battery industry is concerned, China imports materials from Australia and refine and process domestically and export overseas or assemble inside China. So Japanese industries take the comparative advantage in providing necessary or indispensable equipment in this long value chain. This is a very innovative tactics to be less vulnerable and to be more necessary to the others. But it is always easier to say than to do. And next question, how possibly could Quad cooperation while confronting with each other in a tariff war, what you call tariff war? My answer is yes. We have many divergences, but we have a set of convergences. That is why foreign ministers identified 4 important areas. And like it or not, we need US's engagement to promote peace, stability, and prosperity of the India-Pacific region. We should not create any power vacuum in this region. So we need US's engagement, and we need multiply and multifaceted our cooperation with like-minded partners, including the United States, of course, but we may expand our cooperation with other regional partners. Can we develop NATO, or should we develop Quad into NATO? My answer is probably no, because we have different security configurations from Europe. We have our own agenda. We have own concerns. So I think there is little logical, not logical, but ground leap from the current status to jump into the possible NATO framework in this region. And Ishihara-san, thank you very much about evolving nature of this framework. My answer is yes or no. I don't exclude the possibility of adding other like-minded countries to this framework. In that case, we may call it Pentagon, or what is 5? Hexagon. Hexa or penta, something like that. I don't exclude the possibility. And Japan, United States, along with the Philippines, this is another +1 approach, with the Philippines, with Australia, with South Korea. We have trilateral framework, and we may add another partner or 2 or 3 to the Quad, but this possibility has not been discussed in the Quad context. Thank you for asking the very challenging question, because I'm not so familiar with the technologies and sciences, but thank you very much for raising this issue. As of right now, I have no information available to address your question, but I will follow it up. Thank you.
Okay. Another 5 minutes or 10 minutes is okay. Okay. Then there. Yeah. Okay. Yes. We have.
I'm Nirmala with the Straits Times. You spoke about the critical minerals cooperation within Quad. So, you said there are no details available, but it would be interesting to know your assessment of how important it is for these countries to have cooperation in critical minerals. And would you say that India-Japan cooperation in this field is going smoothly?
Yeah. Professor Nagalakshmi.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. It was really wonderful session. You gave a very crisp covering all youth, academic exchange, strengthening economic frameworks, and so on. My question is there a need to formalize the Quad into a treaty-based institution, or do you think that its flexibility can serve its purpose better? This is one thing I wanted to ask. And secondly, I would like to suggest that if we can launch a dedicated Quad communication platform to counter misinformation, increase visibility and clarity, the Quad objectives and regional audiences, because that is more required, because we feel that the communication of the Quad activity is comparatively less.
Hello, my name is Vikas. I'm a student. I would like to ask, is there any possibility, like French has French Legion Battalion for their army? Is there any possibilities for Japanese army for recruiting international Japanese speaking people for their in their army in future?
1 second, please.
There is a French Legion Battalion in France army. Is there any possibility in future in Japan, those who can speak Japanese language to get in their army battalion?
Oh.
Beginning part. Yeah, I will come.
Your Excellency, it was a wonderful presentation. I am Brigadier Pandey, just retired few months back. My question is that though Quad is not meant to be a kind of hard power or hard grouping, it's a soft grouping as I see it. But should there be a conflict initiated by the dragon in the room, will there be a feasibility of Quad transforming into a hard grouping, or it'll remain as it is playing the soft part?
Soft group. Yeah. The corner, the youngster there. Please identify yourself.
Good evening. I'm Abhijit Singh. I'm a PhD student from the Center of East Asian Studies, JNU. My question is, how does Taiwan contingency factor into Quad planning, given the Taiwan state's importance to a free and open Indo-Pacific? And regardless of possibilities, how does Japan view South Korea's potential role in the Quad?
South Korea.
South Korea's role in the Quad. Yes.
Kiran, Nikkei.
Yeah, hello, sir. Kiran Sharma from Nikkei Asia. So, you said that you don't exclude the possibility of like-minded countries being part of the Quad. But have any like-minded countries approached Quad specifically to be, considered for inclusion into the Quad? And also, do we have any rough idea when the Quad summit could take place this year? Though we know it is happening this year, but which month or dates? If you have any idea, please share with us. Thank you.
Right now, you will answer this question, then we'll see.
Well, thank you for those 7 questions. I should not miss any of them. Critical mineral initiative. This is a capital initiative, critical CMI. And if you read the joint statement, it comes in the middle of the regional affairs paragraph. So this is very unique, I think, initiative, and somehow this exemplifies the importance of the and very high aspiration of the this renewed Quad priorities. Many things are still under discussion. We would expect some more concrete and specific outcomes at the when our leaders will meet. And second question about the structure or lack of rigid structure of Quad. Well, again, I would not exclude anything. So may it develop into a treaty organization or stay as it is a flexible entity as right now. But just think about the partners, 2 Anglo-Saxon, very pragmatic countries, and a country which is proud of Jaguar, improvisation, Jaguar. And one more country which is very good at Kaizen, constant improvement. So they are working ethics that share among the Quad countries. So we will exercise our pragmatism and our sense, sort of a shared instinct of improvisation and improvement. And I think this should be a continuing beauty of Quad framework. And third, I haven't come up with this innovative idea of including Japanese-speaking foreigners in the Japanese self-defense forces. This is my answer, but just for your reference sake, we call it self-defense forces. We don't call it Army, Navy, or Air Force. Just for your reference sake. And fourth, well, thank you. I think I should express my gratitude for your service, and thank you for your question about Quad remaining soft or becoming aiming at soft or hard cooperation. I think we will pursue both. In some areas, it is very difficult to define. I mean, there is a fine line between soft and hard, and we may sometimes call it traditional or non-traditional. So I think not entangled with a dichotomy, we are going to remain flexible and agile in responding existing and emerging challenges. But thank you very much for your question. And 6. Do I miss? ROK. question about South Korea, Republic of Korea. To be frank with you, I don't know. I don't know any possibilities are discussed for the future or the potential cooperation with the South Korea in the context of contingencies like you said, Taiwan, in the within the Quad framework. I don't know, to be honest with you. And finally, thank you for sharing my anxieties about the timing of the Leaders Summit. I was informed that second half of this year is a wedding season, and all the hotels are now very busy. It's accepting and declining reservations. So 3 embassies here in New Delhi are in the same boat, and I'm going to revert your question to my colleague in the MEA after this. Thank you.